everybody. This is Gary Altman, the Commissioner of the Premier Baseball Association League, brought to you by OOTP, your friend and mine. All right, we're using OOTP 20 for our last season. That's the 2024 season, so that's where this is going to be. From what I have seen, there is not much difference between 20 and 21 in the version regarding this. Some cosmetic issues, so if I find anything that's really different, I'll let you know. But this is basically going to be geared to the beginner, and how to set up basically a to-do list and get organized and get to the nuts and bolts to get what you need done. And then you can go around and start poking around and playing and looking at different things. But for the most part, I'm going to show you what I do once my file is downloaded. And so with that being said, here we go. Once the file is downloaded, and what I do is File, Online League, download latest league file, click that. You're going to get, the percentages and whatnot going through, and all of a sudden it's going to pop up saying your file is updated. Congratulations. Super. We happen to be in the off season. It's Sunday, February 11th of 2024. We're 5 years ahead of ourselves. Dates over here, league events. I keep an eye on this. Here are some of the bookmarks I have. Waiver wire. So the first thing I typically do is head to my transactions. And whether it's regular sim or not, I click here on the injured list. I got nobody there. We're in the off season. I'm not sure if I'm even able to move anybody in, but I will go through each of my teams, and I'm going to put this guy in the 10-day list. So this is going to be perfect. And what I'm looking for, and I do this as a quick scan, anybody that's red. Anybody that's red is hurt. Yellow is tired. So here on my AA team, I got a bunch. And what I do is I typically, my main roster, AAA, AA, single A, my rookie, and then anything else I would fall into here as well. This one here I use for, and I try to keep up injured lists on my top screen rather than designated for assignment and especially waivers. Don't leave your waivers up here. Bad things happen, especially if you get into a habit. So I already added Mawagawalawi. So what I'm going to do is Online League, export your team via FTP. I do this often and often and often. You'll see why. Let's say, for argument's sake, I left waivers up. And I forgot waivers was up. So he's out with a torn rotator cuff. I drop him in here. Do you want to? I'm like, oh, crap. I didn't want to put him on waivers. I thought that was my injured list that I always leave up. Actions. Import team via FTP. And Augustus is gone. He's back on his team. It's your undo button. Do not overlook it. Save early, save often. That's all I can say. So, oops, let me not make that mistake again. Go back to the injured list. He's out for 8 more weeks. I'm going to add him to the 10-day list. Klinsma. And I just keep going through and making sure during the sim that there's nobody here red. Another torn rotator. It's a bad look at this. This is disgusting. I think I got to check out my trainer and see what he can do about that. All right. Wait a minute. He's got a ruptured medial collateral ligament, and he's a center fielder. Outstanding. Obviously, my trainer doesn't do well with arms. All right. So now that that's done, everybody's in that needs to be in. File, Online League, export. I would also go through my injured list and add in any players that needed to be activated. And if they're on the Major League roster, depending on the time that they're out, I would send them to rehab if this was a regular season event. I now take a look. I got 39 players here. We're allowed 26, so I am 13 over. So I know I need to make 13 spots over these 4 teams. This one here gives me 11. I'm 1 over, 4 under, and even. So I've got enough. 11, 15. I have 14 spots available, so I'm in good shape, even with these guys being out for the time that they're out. So my first thing here I'm going to do is get this one down the order, and instead of well, let's see, do I got anybody that can move up? I got a second baseman. And what I do here is I take a look at this guy, and I want to see what his numbers were last year. 281, 381, 485, 27 homers, 99 RBIs. Yeah, this guy can move up. So now I want to take a look here at my second baseman. Hey, look, I don't have a second baseman. Guess what? This just made it easy. Greg Hall, 4.60 ERA, 24 walks in 47 innings. I don't think he's ready. I'm going to leave him. Kinoshita, 28 years old, hit 280. I needed a catcher at AAA. Typically, what I like to do with my organization, and your mileage may vary, is have 3 catchers at AA, 2 at triple, 2 at AA. I want that one guy in AA that can swing either way. He can go up to AAA, or a guy that can go down to single A. And that covers me at all levels if a catcher goes down, from the major league level down to my rookie league. I'll also check my international complex here. And what I'm looking for here is I first sort by age. I want to get an idea. Like these 5 guys, I believe, have to evac. Online export? No, not yet. But these guys are going to have to evac international complex. Anybody here any good? So this guy, Salinas. All right, he's just about ready to go, center field. So I got to take a look here and try and start making room. And typically, I'll use my scout going across the board on all of these rather than statistics. And what I want to check here, and this is what I basically do. This guy's 23 in rookie league. He can't be there. So we're going to move him up. That opens up a spot. I got Kinney, who I knew I drafted, I got last year, and he's highly regarded, and he just hasn't produced yet. So I'm going to let him cook down there again. And basically, this is what I do with that. So now we've covered so far our injured list, and I go back to this. I leave this up. I go back to promotions and demotions based on that, and then I export again. And typically, I will export 10, 15, 20 times while doing this. We're at the 8-minute mark of this video. It was 7 minutes because after my 1-minute intro, because I can't keep my mouth shut. Next thing I would do is hit my pitching staff, and I would start with my major league team. There's nothing to do right now. I'm going to ask the manager for the bullpen. The staff I got pretty much where I want. I let him do his thing. Once that's done, I go to AAA. I need a couple starters, but I know that they're up on the big club. Pineda and Dugan are going to be starting. 5-man rotation. So I know I need one more in there, and I got bullpen guys coming from the big squad. So that's good. File online league export. Do you guys see a theme going on here? All right, AA. All right, let's go back to our 5-man rotation. I got to take a look and see who's my starters. Now, over here on the left, you got Green. That's already in there. See, Gilliand is in there. Gilliand. So I got this starter. Let's add him. We'll add him. And I'm just dropping them in. I don't really care where they're going at this point. Now, I got one other starter here, so you know what? Let's go with a six-man rotation to make everybody happy. File, online league, export. Okay, actions, manager for the bullpen. Now, what I do check here is, like, we were one over when I looked at this originally, and now we're there at 35. I like to keep a balance in my minor league teams with their lineups and the pitching. So I will come over here and take a look. This year, 17 players, which means I got 18 hitters. Huh, look at that. Basic math works. My elementary school teacher would be very proud. In AAA, 15 hitters and 10 pitchers. But again, we got players coming, so I'm not worried about it. Let's go now to single A. We got 13 pitchers. So I know I'm going to need more here, but I know I'm 4 short. So I know that I'm going to add pitchers to this team. 19 hitters is a little bit outside of where I want to be. So I know when I'm looking at my rookie team that pitchers is what's going to come into this. Again, my preference may be different than yours. You might want to carry more pitchers. So right now everybody seems fine. And ask manager for bullpen. Just let that go. But that's something I got to keep in mind as I get closer to the regular seasons on all of that. But I do like to keep an eye on it as we go along. We have 40 players allowed in the rookie league. So having, I think it was 19 pitchers is not a bad thing in rookie league. You end up going through more of them. 19 and 20, and that's fine. A bunch here got promoted and whatnot. Manager for the bullpen, thank you very much for helping me out there. Then I go to lineups, but not before. Export. Now there's a couple ways to export here too. This one, when you're in the lineup screen, you have to go through the top. There's so many ways to do so many different things here with OOTP. It's not even funny. All right. And I'll get into that in a bit. You got your lineups versus righty versus lefty. Typically what I like to do is, I don't believe that stars are the be-all, end-all. I like the rating numbers. And this is a custom view I created. I'll set this up to sort by potential ratings in the order highest to lowest. And then I'm going to ask my manager to make all depth charts and lineups. What I'm looking for here is to see if I got any better rated specs that are not playing. Like, why is he playing? Jeez. Why is he playing Damian Dixon? All right. I mean, the numbers are good, but yeah, I'm not really feeling this guy. Second base. Who do I got at second base? Well, you know what? Why is Atkinson not playing? As he's rated higher. Ratings are a little bit better. All right. I like what Atkinson brings to the table. He's never going to be anything special. Sorry, James. Get over it. And I'll go through and keep checking. And if I'm okay with his decision per se, yeah, I'll let it go. And that's pretty much what I do. Same with left-handed. I'll let the manager take care of that. 7-day lineups I used to use. I don't anymore. Why? I don't know. You know what? I'm guessing with the advent of the more prevalent use of openers in the game, I really don't want to do that. So what I end up doing is going to strategy, and then here, use of openers. I lean to not doing it. If facing an opener, here is what I like to do: is basically go by the follower, knowing that the opener is only going to go maybe an inning. Possibly 2. I'll punt the first inning per se and work off the next guy. Yes, no. Maybe with Major League Baseball rules coming in where you got to face 3 batters, an opener can be negated somewhat, as well as a relief pitcher. So that's where that is. So again, lineup is made, online league export. Okay. Now I go back up the ladder and I do all my my minor league teams. And again, I'll reverse sort this. Bob Josie, 23. What did he do? He hit 313. I got Ibarra, who hit 309 last year in Double A, who got kicked down. So, you know what? And Ibarra is over Josie, so I'm okay with that. And that's pretty much, I take a look and I just make sure that the manager hasn't gone completely off the rails. Catchers, you got the guy at the bottom of the list, Byford, and he's the best of the bunch. And that's kind of sad considering Trujillo is holding everybody else up. You know, it's so much fun talking about these guys as if they're not even, real. Silly me. All right, continuing on, ask manager for all depth charts, and I just again keep doing this, and this is what I do. This is how I just check and make sure guys that are getting playing time need to be getting playing time. Online league export, yes, I didn't check the left-handed batters, but I did when I did this, I did all depth charts and lineups. So I know the other one was done. And we're in the off season. I'm just looking to get this pretty much a little bit in order to help me out later on. I do a lot of things in piecemeal when I do this. If I know I got time right now and I don't have time later on, yeah, I'm going to go through and do a little bit more. So like I have the time right now to go through this and to show you what I'm doing. This is what I would end up doing. And back to the Major League team, this one should always pretty much be set. I go home, file, online league export. Now, I've been doing this all along from up here. But if you come over here, import, export. Let's export the team via FTP. We can do it there. Same thing. File has been uploaded. I can also get that from rosters transactions. Notice I clicked up here to get it. And I can export the team. I just did it. I'm not going to do it. But I can also come down here and it brings me to the same screen. Here's my pitching screen. There's the lineups. Here's the lineups. Gives me both of them. This here is my financial component along with player development. And this is what I like looking at. I'm 6 out of 24. That's great. Here's what I'm giving away all my secrets to my competitors. But this here is what I've got going out into various budgets. This here is how my team is ranked. I got 6 guys in the top 100. So I like where that's going. And then here are some of the other guys I got. And then over here, I just keep a look-see. I just keep an eye to see where the game is actually positioning my guys. So, like for argument's sake, I got Lee here, my top prospect. He's 11th in the league. Mark Simon, and then Ahmed. Sorry to all the Ahmeds out there. All right. If either of those guys, Simon or Ahmedo, I can't pronounce half of these names. Anyway, if either of those guys were any good, I would look at this point to move them because Lee is going to be in place for this year, at least in this, and then he's going to be for the next 6 or 7 years with my organization, depending how I play his options. So he's 3 years ahead of Simon, and let's see, this guy's 19, Akhmedov. And he's developmentally 5 years ahead of him. So I wouldn't have to do anything. But if I had 2 guys back to back, let's say these guys were at a different position, I might have to make a decision there on what to do. But again, your mileage may vary. Find a new position for him. Trade them, bounce between the two, take the better of the bunch, or whatever. So now that that's done, so I've gotten my look-see, I now go through my mail. And to help make this easier, the first thing I do is game recaps. Nothing there. Thank you very much. Injury news. The high school teams have already started. So some of these guys and colleges started. So at this point, we're going to see the injuries start piling up. And how do I get my email in-game? These are what I subscribe to. basically everything but the team game recaps. I don't need to read every single recap of every single game. I don't have the time for it. So I go through these quick. I want to see if any of my guys are hurt or if there's anybody who's already made it. Any, that I need to pay attention to. After that, delete all these messages. I don't need them. They're a cursory check. Minor league awards. I don't need to do this. I've done a previous video on how to find guys that are going to be available for the draft. So at this point, I don't need to really check them. I'm just looking for any big stuff here going on. Batter of the month. Guy's hitting .323 after 215. He's 18 years old in college. Yeah, he's still got a little time. This guy, he's going to be draft eligible. His ERA has gone down each year. So I just cover over him. But 13 walks in 24 innings. The guy's got control problems. I look at more stats than anything else. Now this guy becomes interesting. Look at these. So he's got a 1 ERA, a 0.73. What's his story? This guy I'll check. All right, the 1 ERA is based off of 9 innings in 2023, so chances are he had an injury. Survey says February of 28. Nope, that was this season. So it must have held him out for a while. What was the story? How long? 2 weeks. Nope. He just wasn't used. Interesting. And now he comes back, 12 innings. Way too small a sample size to really worry about. And he's in his 4th year. He hasn't been drafted before, so he'll be up for the draft. What do they got him at? 1.5 stars. He's nothing even to waste time with. So I'll just look through this and see, did anybody really tear it up? But for the most part, I look at this in the regular season for my guys and see what my guys do. And if I don't get to the mail, that's okay, because I use this filter to sort it out. I got to go through last year's numbers or things where some of my players won awards. So I hang on to them just in case I was about to do a PR on them. Accomplishments, he's the first, Mr. Yoshiro Suzuki with 300 homers. It's about 100 a year, give or take. Game performances, Rayner hits 3 homers. Interesting, 63 power. It's his first college season. Someone to keep an eye on. They got him at 1.5 stars, but I'll keep an eye on him. And this is basically what I do, game performances. Now we're BNN News, but after each segment, I export. This way, if I make a mistake or I gotta leave, I know I've already done it. Oh, we have an auto dealership opened in the off-season by Onuma. Okay, capitalizing on his popularity. Well done there, sir. I'll leave that. I might post that later on. Contract updates. All right, moving right along this way. You guys can screenshot that if you need to. Transactions, this is the one trade that was made. That was in an earlier video that I did today. That'll be posted today, a week ago. Don't forget to check that one out. What goes on with the commissioner? And general news. Anything going on here? My financial update. He's liking where I am, I guess. Simulation, don't need these. PBA preseason begins. Thank you very much. We got a find, and pretty much here, Muscles, who's the heaviest guy in AAA, and then I just start going through, just taking a look if there's anything cute, anything funny, ironic that goes through. Yes, I'm going to make a post on it. And then those, and finally the sim update, delete, file, online league, export, and that 25 minutes I'm done. And I did a lot of talking about it. I mean, let's not get crazy. But what I didn't check, waiver wire. So a couple ways to get to that, using the greater than equals or less than equals greater than sign, and then waiver wire. Wes Lancaster, 2.5, 2.5. 4.58 ERA. He's got a little stamina and stuff like that going on. So this guy's not bad. 500,000. Let's see. All right, not bad. And what's his contract? Does he have options? 3 options. Guess what? I'm not posting this today. Sorry, guys. But this is what I'll do. I'm going to claim this guy. So we'll wait and see. And now, guess what I'm going to do? Online leading export. Now I can come back to that home screen. And since I've already checked the waiver wire, it's no longer in my tasks. Pending offer, and then interesting players on the trade block. Everybody uses them differently. This here is stuff, the bookmarks, I will hit as, if I got time. Inbox, we've already taken care of that. Other than this, I am done. And I export one final time, go here, and I'm good to shut the game down. So, I'm sorry this took 26 minutes. I can get this down, if I'm in a rush, 10 minutes to get an export out. If I absolutely need to. So, that's where we are, everybody. Hope you had a great day. And with that being said, I'm going to end this video now. Again, this is Gary Altman, the commissioner of the Premier Baseball Association League. And if you stuck through 26 and a half minutes, I'd love to have you reach out to us and possibly join us when we have some openings. Because if you stuck around this long and heard me talking about this, God bless you. Really, God bless you. That being said, have a great and blessed day, everybody. So long.